Hi everyone, it's Heidi from flutterbyheidi.co.uk. I'm Heidi Smith. I'm an independent Stampin' Up demonstrator based in the United Kingdom, and today I thought I'd share a project using the lovely Tidings and Trimmings, but focusing mainly on the die cuts. Fabulous sentiments in here and really useful foliage, stamps and infill colours, so great for Christmas crafting. But you can buy coordinating dies that not only cut out the images but cut out solid detailed accent pieces as well. So you've got this lovely detailed star and this one here, and I thought I'd do something here where we're just inlaying the star onto that and then adding another couple of die cuts as well. So that's what we're going to do today. Let's get started. So the first thing we're going to need is a card base. So I've just taken a piece of 21 by 14.5 centimetre thick basic white and scored that at 10.5. I've then taken a layer that is 14 by 10 of, I've gone for the Magenta Madness, and then a piece that is 13.5 by 9.5 of basic white as well. Now, Christmas we're going to be frugal, but also this helps create our layers. We're going to gut the inside of this. So I'm lining this up at 2 centimetres and cutting from 2 centimetres from the top to 2 centimetres from the bottom. It doesn't matter if you go slightly over that, as long as you sort of keep it within sort of a centimetre of the edge. And if you haven't quite done it as I haven't there, don't worry, because you can just take your paper snips and snip against. Now that piece can then be used for our die cutting, or it can be used for other projects. So we've got basically a frame here, and I'm saying I haven't worried about going over because this is going to be covered over by our white. So that's what we're going to use in a moment, but we're going to raise it up on dimensionals. So I'm going to put that to one side. Our next layer, which is the one here, is the one we're actually going to die cut from. So I'm going to take the star and just place that fairly centrally and pop that like so. Just attaching a little piece of post-it note tape just to keep that going. I'm also going to cut out my detailed die at the same time. I'm just going to pop this through my Big Shot. This one wouldn't go through the mini cut and emboss because of the fact I'm using a card front sized base. So that's going to come out and you're going to have an aperture there. Now what you also want to do is cut that out of our Magenta Madness because we want to create our frame, but in order to get a nice even border I use another bit of post-it note tape. So I just look at lining that up. Let me pop that to one side. I look at lining that up so there's a reasonably even border on those, and then pop it to one side. Then pop it through our die cutting machine again. And when that comes out, you've got our frame that we're going to use. We've then got our inner star, and that one you can actually use the detailed one. You can actually stick that onto there and run that through, so you've really got no waste at all, and you have a detailed star there. Okay, so if we tidy up our bits and pieces, the only thing we've got left to do actually is a plain white star, but I've got one already cut. So after this you should have an outlined star, a detailed star, a plain white star, and then out of some of the scraps you can then cut as well some of these teeny tiny little stars as well, to decorate if you want. Now obviously those take a little bit more time to put through, And I should have probably done some beforehand instead of leaving you sat there with a blank screen. There we go. So you're going to want several of those if that's what you want to do. Okay, so now we're in a position to start our layering. So we're going to put glue around the outside edge of this. And just make sure you don't come where it's close to the edge, just take a little bit more care. Pop our layer like so. Now, as you can see, I've actually come a little bit close there. So all I'm going to do is take my snips and just come on the reverse to clear that frame out. I obviously did it when I did my sample. I must have done it at 1 centimetre. Should have checked first. I did my samples quite a while ago with these, so you have to excuse me. But again, as I always say, I try and do real-time crafting so that if you have the same problem, quite easy. Nobody's going to see the underside of that. And look, there we have our... In fact, actually, it wouldn't have mattered because I'm going to be popping that one in there anyway, which would have covered it up. That's why I did. Oh, there you go, you see? These things are sent to try us. I could, of course, stop at this point and redo the video, but you know what? It isn't going to happen. So with this, I will put quite a few dimensionals to support this because it's a frame and we don't want it kind of squashing down, particularly if it's going to be posted. So just pop some round the edges there. Then I'm also going to want some dimensionals to go on here. Now for this is perfect for our mini dimensionals. So we're just going to pop those in on the sides there. Just put one on each point. So we'll just take those backs off the dimensionals. And you'll see some of these I'm just giving them an extra little squash down. Obviously if you wanted to stamp any of the stars beforehand, you'd do that before you put your dimensionals on. When I put my layers on, I always open my card out because that just helps to ensure that it goes down square. There we go, we've got a nice shadow layer there. So now we can add in, remove the dimensionals off the back here. And pop our star in. Now with this one, if you wanted to, you could obviously add a little bit of you could pop it through on the adhesive sheet if you wanted. Use fine tip glue, or do what I do, which is a little bit of Tombow in a fine tip glue dispenser. Or you could use a sponge. So pop a blob of Tombow and use a cut of sponge just to pop that, to cover it with glue on the back. Then all I'm going to do is literally just pop that in to the side there. So now while that's drying, we can add our little star. And I can do a little bit of stamping. So all I've done is I've just taken the Noel stamp here and my Magenta Madness ink. And just ink that up. So as always, ink, tap, tap, tap. And with this, I found I could just about fit it into the centre of our star. Right, so the little pop of pink. I'm then going to use my solid to add a few accent stars. And before we pop that up onto dimensionals, I'm just going to grab my Stampin' Right marker, and I'm just going to take the brush tip end, and where you can see there's a slight indent from the die, I'm just drawing along that. To give a little outline. Like so. You could probably use your, if you had the alcohol marker, you could use that as well. That would work. And then I'm just again going to pop just 2 or 3 dimensionals onto the back there. I do like a pop of pink at Christmas. I think it works really well. So there's my card. All it remains is to add on a few rhinestones. And for that, I'm just going to use my Take Your Pick tool. This is great for quickly and easily adding a sprinkle of diamante onto there. So just a couple of groups of 3. And there we have a pair of pretty quick cards. One thing left to do, which is to add some stamping to the inside, which is what I've done on the inside of this one. So just literally 3 little stars in a corner. And you could add as much or as little as you wanted, but I think that adds to it. So there we go. 2 cards using with an inlaid star, ready for Christmas. Thanks for watching. I do hope you come back and see me again soon. Don't forget to hit the subscribe button, and I'd love it if you chose me as your Stampin' Up! Demonstrator. So if you want the Tidings and Trimmings or the Christmas trimming dies to go with it, pop along to my blog where you'll find all the links, or if you go to the description bar below here, there are links to all of the products I've used, and you can go straight to them in my shop. Thanks for watching. Bye now.